Well, this is probably not going to be my smartest idea in the West, but going to try to fly the Binghamton fly-in today. I'm not sure if I'm broadcasting or not, but anyway, the weather frightful. Without a doubt, it's going to be a challenge. I am not adjusting my weather. I'm not adjusting my time. We're just gonna see what happens, I guess. So, looking forward to it. And the biggest challenge might be to see if our frame rates drop too low and we get booted off of VATSIM. But if that happens, it happens. Let's get started. All right, let's jump right in, guys. We're in the JustFlight Piper Aero 4, Turbo Aero 4. So, a light GA aircraft heading into significant weather. Just not thinking it's probably in in the real world. Would you be flying this? Well, no, I don't think you would be. But we're gonna just give it a try and see what happens. We are the flight route today, by the way. We're starting down here. Just picked out an airfield that I thought was halfway close. Tappahannock, Essex County, which I've never been to before down here. And we're going to fly north up to the greater Binghamton Edwin A. Link airfield. Should take a little under 2 hours. Hopefully, it's quite a long route, but most of it is along Victor Airways, and these are just kind of turns in the Victor. So Victor 213, Victor 29er, those are going to be the main airways that we lean on. The Victor 164 as well. And then with any luck, I mean, it looks pretty harmless right now, right? Well, here's the dealio. So yeah, right now winds at Binghamton weather reported at Binghamton winds 160 at 14 with snow and visibility a quarter of a mile, freezing fog. So yeah, it's going to be a challenge to say the least, but looking forward to it nonetheless. And we're gonna, like I say, we're gonna give it a shot and just see how it goes. So um, I'm gonna kind of dispense with a few of the formalities here, and we're gonna just check and make sure we have enough fuel. Just in case we're gonna go. It's a 2-hour flight, but we'll just kind of double up on fuel essentially. And it doesn't have, not a bad thing to have maybe a little bit extra weight with all this wind. Um, but here we go. Let's put the battery on. We need to make sure that our fuel is as advertised. Yep, about 3/4 full there. And we're going to set the fuel to the left tank just to get started. We will crack the throttle a 1/2 inch. Our fuel pump is going to come to low. And we got some good fuel pressure there. Mixture will be full rich. And we're going to engage the starter. Maybe. There we go. All right, let's turn the alternator on. Let's bring our prop lever up and let the engine warm up a little bit. And I may also, just because this is a little bit of a noisy engine, I might turn that down just a bit. Okay, let's see. Oh, don't need that anymore. Oh, God. There we go. Where was I? Fuel mixture full rich. Yep. Alternator panel lights as required. Yeah, we could. There's the potential. We could use some panel lights here. Let me pull this back so I can access this just a little bit. Spin this forward. It may be already on. Yep, I guess they are already on. As is that. So, okay. Yep, we're not going to get those anymore on. It should be daylight uh, for our flight today, but it might be a little bit low light with the storm, the weather. And let's see. I'll make sure my compasses are aligned. This is saying about 100. This is not quite saying that, so let's spin that around. Let's get that aligned. I do need to turn on my 530. I don't plan really on using it per se, but you never know. You might need it. I'm gonna try to fly this Slant Alpha. Put that on standby, and let's see. Anti-collision lights can come on here so people know we're in working. What else? What else? What else? What else? What else? Nav radio is on. Compasses are aligned. And so let's tune in here. The first VOR we're going to track is actually we're going to be tracking the Richmond VOR outbound. Richmond is 114.10. I'll pull that up here. Pop down to the VLOC 114.10. We're going to be tracking that outbound on a, gosh, it's hard to see with the weather here, on a 048 outbound radial. So let's spin that 048. Point that in the outbound direction. There's 50, 49, 48. That ought to be pretty close. Current weather, by the way, here at Essex County, actually not too bad. Winds are 170 at 5. Altimeter 3022. So that 1-2, that looks pretty close. Yeah, let's see. I don't know the runway orientation here very well. Looks like east-west, so runway 28 and runway 10. So we will definitely be getting a little bit of a crosswind regardless, but I think 10 departing to the east is going to be the better choice. It's a little bit less of a crosswind. And then we turn north after that to try to pick up that outbound. And like I said, it's just double check here. Am I looking at the right thing? Maybe I'm not looking at the right thing. Sorry guys, I'm gonna have to turn off my weather just so I can see a little bit better. So might as well show you what I'm looking at here. So this is us right here, Essex County, and we're going to be picking up this Victor Airway. And so just kind of backing up here, I was thinking we could use the Richmond, sorry, I'm on the VFR map. I was thinking we could use the Richmond VOR, the outbound 048, and actually that's not going to work either. So because that actually takes a little bit of a turn here and becomes a different heading. So I'm going to tune in the Patuxent River, which is 110.25, and I'm going to track that. That's a 238 outbound that we'll track. That'll give us a better feel. That just didn't, I knew that didn't quite look right, but yeah, easy fix. So back down to here and 110.25. Flip that over. All right. And then again, 238 is the direction. It's the outbound direction. So spin that guy all the way around here. 238. So there's 240. 39, 38. So we'll be essentially traveling up there at about a 058 heading. So I'm going to go ahead and just put that in. We'll depart runway heading, and then we'll make looks like a left-hand traffic as we leave the airspace. All right, 60, 59, 58. Okay, that looks pretty good. The altitude we're shooting for, we filed, was 5,000, and of course, you know that depends a lot on weather, but that's what we're looking at doing. And 2280, we do have that tuned in, so that'll be ready to go as well. Titanium Druid checking in, coming along for the bumpy ride there, my friend. Welcome, happy Saturday. I'm happy to be here. I thought I was going to miss it. I had work obligations and I got out a little bit early, so I was happy to hustle home and just hop in the Piper and join the event. This is the Virtual USA Flying Club Binghamton fly-in, and so, like I say, happy to be a part of it. And the guys over there, Jet Pilot Cinnamon, you might recognize his handle. Does a great job with his club over there, and they do these monthly or sometimes even more than once a month. I think they have another one planned for the 28th in Colorado somewhere. So good group to fly with. Been a lot of fun. Downwind Sim, hello. I made it home early, and you just finished yours. You did make it in the Mooney, so you must have flew this same event then, I guess. That's awesome, man. No one could make that Mooney sing like my friend Downwind Sim, I tell you. That guy's a pilot's pilot. He does a great job. Okay, so we're gonna taxi out here to runway 8, depart to the east. Uh-oh, had to do some earthwork. Oh, I don't like the sound of that. Where is my runway? I think it's over here in the trees. This is kind of a cool little airport. Like I say, I've never been here before, but it's got some potential. Kind of cut amongst the trees and looks pretty cool. I should be making some radio calls here, although I'm pretty sure I'm the only one that's on the particular taxiway right now, or even in the airspace. But still, we'll try to be somewhat by the book. I'm hoping this is taking me to the end of my runway here. I don't know. I don't have a chart here for the airport. Yep, runway 10. I think I said runway 8 earlier, but we'll take care of our run up here first, and then we'll make some calls, and we'll get flying. Happy to have you two guys along with me. It should be entertaining, if nothing else. Run up. We'll set the brake here, and let's throttle up 2,000. Coffee and sputtery all of a sudden. I don't know what's going on there. Just kind of, there we go. That sounds better. Let's do typical mag check. Small drop. All right, both of those are definitely within limits. Vacuum is. Let's just pop in here. Check the vacuum. Check the. Yeah, making good power. Oil temp's coming up. Oil pressure looks good. Fuel looks good. Vacuum, the suction should be around about between 4.8 and 5.1, and it's right in there, I'd say. Okay, let's exercise the prop, as they would say. Okay, everything seems to be functioning normally there. And pull the throttle back down. I think we're ready to go here. So downwind, I hope that means you had to do some scenery work at KBGM and you didn't try to do some earthwork with your aircraft, which is something I've done from time to time. A little adding some extra ruts here and there, if you will. All right, here we go. Tappahannock traffic turbo, Aero, November 11816, preparing departure runway 10. We'll be making left traffic. Tappahannock. I hope that's how you say that. All right, so again, the idea here, left-hand turn, we're going to be heading up, actually what I see on my map here is maybe more like a little more northbound course, but eventually intercepting the Victor 16 airway. Set a notch of flaps. Landing lights are already on. Pitot heat coming on. I'm going to need it. And open finals clear. Can't really see too well there. Is that a better view? Not really. Runway clear. There you can see the crosswind that we're going to have. Light GA aircraft with crosswind. Not a good combination. And icing conditions. And so this thing, yeah, I haven't done anything with icing, so I honestly don't even know if it's simulated or, yeah, we're gonna have to. I guess we're gonna have to cross that bridge when we come to it. Okay, I think we're ready. So we're looking for a rotation speed of 74. We'll try to climb out about 79 or so. Here we go. I really like this plane. It's fun. It's challenging. It's got a lot of power, but very, very light. You're going to hear me squeal on the takeoff. I have a tendency to get shoved around a little bit. I'm getting a little better. There's 60. 70. I think we're going to go ahead and rotate. And it's, like I said, kind of a cool little, oh boy, that's a tree. Okay. So yeah, maybe we hit a tree on the way out. Man, we're getting blown. There we go, guys. We're pruning. Trees on the way up. Positive rate, if there's any gear left, we're going to retract the gear. Oh my goodness. All right. Okay, well, let's level out a little bit here. Let's get our climb speed up to about 80. Pull the flaps up. I'm going to go ahead and start to turn here. Again, a little bit more north than that initial 060. Boy, I am hard right rudder right now, just trying to keep it. It's really fighting me. Expect it's going to be that way. There's our VOR coming into effect. Good. So that's what we're trying to intercept here. And I think we're going to go ahead and just, I don't know that I'm going to fight this by hand. Let's put our heading mode in. I am going to leave it at that kind of 040. Boy, look at the autopilot's even fighting it right now, man. Ah, boy. This could be interesting. So, ortho for XP patching, that doesn't bode well. I did spawn there to just check it out, just to see what it looked like, and I didn't notice anything major, but that'll definitely add to the challenge of of trying to land in heavy weather and all that good stuff. All right, what am I doing wrong here? Heading mode is on, autopilot's on. Oh, I want to go heading, not Omni. All right, we're just about to pick up that VOR here, and I'm going to flip it over, but I don't want to climb too quickly. All right, pull back to climb power here as well. It's a fun little bird. It really scoots. I mean, you can really cover some ground. Probably kind of in that 130 to 140 range. I mean, it's no Cirrus or anything like that, but it's a fun little guy. Feels fast when I've been in the 152 quite a bit. Seems like this month. So, all right, we're getting close to picking up that outbound, And I need to, one thing I forgot to do is I forgot to turn on my DME. Hello, DME, where are you? Why are you not turning on there, my good man? Oh, baby, yeah, you know, Titanium Druid, I expect a full review, man, because I really, really hemmed and hawed about that very airplane when I was considering whether or not to buy a 152. It was between that one and the Carenado, and I ended up going with the Carenado just because there was an Adrian mod. There was a mod that allowed me to make it a bush plane, but from what I've read, you're going to love that JustFlight 152. And yeah, you can't beat the price. You're right. For those of you that don't know, they've got a sale on, I think they have 9 different aircraft. So it's a good time if you're in the market to pick up a JustFlight aircraft. Now is a good time. All right, so for some reason I'm not picking up my my DME is not working. That could just really affect, could change my flight plan from slant alpha to slant golf in a big hurry if that's the case. I'm just about to pick that VOR up. I think I'm going to go ahead and we will flip to over to localizer mode, nav mode I should say. Boom, there we go. 5,000 is coming up. And oh, you have the Warrior 2. Yeah, they do good work, I believe. Yeah, 5,000 might not be too bad. I should have maybe went 7,000. I could have been well up above the clouds. All right, there we go. 5,000. There's a little hidden click spot there. It's a little bit of a cheat. I know it's above the Piper logo, but I'm going to use it today just because I have a lot of other things I need to manage. I departed from Kilo X-Ray Sierra Alpha, Tappahannock, Essex County. I just tried to find something about less than 2 hours away that was not quite yet in the weather. All right, so speaking of, again, we got to get this, I got to get this going. What the heck is going on? I'm going to need you. I'm going to need you, brother. All right, let's try this. 110. Let's tune in 110. 25. And we've got, yeah, see our DME is not working on nav 1. Is it working on nav 2? It's just not even turning on. What's the deal here? Oh, maybe I don't have it on. That's the problem. This little switch here I didn't have to the on position. All right, so let me come back. Oh, wait a second. Let me come back here, flip this to DME 1. Shouldn't matter. I've gotten both tuned to 110.25. So we're 21 miles, a little over 21 miles. Yeah, it's a little small airport downwind in I'm gonna have to pull up the map here to even show you. West, nope, just Virginia. Tappahannock, Essex County, located 5 miles south of Tappahannock, Virginia. What? Shut the front door. You're pulling my leg there, downwind sim. Well, apologize for me because I trimmed a couple of trees on departure. Tell your parents I'm sorry. Hey, there we go. Do not have ortho. So I am actually I'm just default city today. And yeah, let me pop over. Hey, Aquafunka Ballistic Booty Wap. Long time no hear from, my man. Happy to see you. Happy Saturday. Okay, I'm heading over Downwind Sim is playing with fire here. He's going to distract me even further, but he's going to regale me with tales of his grandfather's farm, I think, which that's fun as well.
Tappahannock.
Tappahannock. Okay, yeah. Sorry, us mountain boys. We don't talk too good.
I heard you say that, and I'm like, I wonder if there's a town up in New York somewhere that's similar to Tappahannock. And then I'm like, what? Wait a second. Anyway.
It's a small world, man. It's kind of like me and Slan Alpha have met, like literally been one plane length apart on like the last 4 Friday night ops that we've flown together, even though we've departed separate airfields.
It's crazy. Yeah, that's where my grandmother was born and raised, in that little town, and then and all of her brothers and sisters, and we spent almost every summer vacation there for since I was born, basically. So I'm very familiar with that.
That is crazy. How, of all the places, I mean, I literally just picked it because it didn't have weather quite yet, and it was less than 2 hours from Binghamton. So that's a weird deal. All right, Agent Bravo 7, yeah. Nothing like putting a lot of pressure on me here. So I'm happy that you guys weren't here a couple of minutes ago, because yeah, the departure was less than, shall we say, good. I trimmed some trees from the Tappahannock, Essex County Airport. Really cool little airport, but man, I tell you what, it's got the one end of the runway that's nothing but tall trees. So I just had to trim a few down, you know. We're doing well, Agent Bravo 7. I had to work today, so I was a little late getting started, but I'm happy because I actually didn't think I was going to be able to catch this. I really wanted to do this as part of the Virtual USA Flying Club Binghamton fly-in today, and I thought I was going to miss it completely. So I was happy to get home early, and this is not really well thought out, but so we're going with real live weather, and it's not looking too pretty where we're heading. As you can see right now, you know, we may need to climb a little bit just to get out of the muckety muck, but yeah.
The weather is rough up there. Definitely tons of ice and stuff. So make sure you're up to speed on all.
Yeah, I'm gonna pull the PHO, POH, whatever, as we speak. I'm gonna do some in-flight research like I tend to do. So, Pilot Edge, what? Those guys are usually pretty solid with that kind of stuff. That's no good. That's no good. Kenny Monster, hello, sir. Good to see you as well. Anyone else that's along for the ride with Agent Bravo 7, welcome to Prop Culture. And Lars Rass, thanks for the follow. Good to have you along. This is kind of what we do. Propeller driven. And sometimes, sometimes not super well thought out. I've blown past my waypoint here, by the way. I'm now, I'm 4.8 miles from, let me see here, Lexington Park. Is that where I'm going? I think that's my first little turn. We're on the Victor 213. And so just to bring you guys up to speed, we departed down here again, Tappahannock, came up here, grabbed the Victor Tappahannock, Victor 213 or the Victor 16 or the Victor 20 or the Victor 157, whatever you want to call it. Sky Vector calls it 213, so that's what I call it. And we're just about here to the Patuxent River. I'm going to need help with pronunciation the entire day, I can tell. But we're going to make a bit of a left-hand turn I'm seeing 046 on my sectional. So that's what we will be doing here. Yep, we're kind of through it already. So let's spin that guy over. 046. We will make a bit of a correction here, I hope. Maybe not. If not, we will do our own correction. We're flying actually straight ahead here, so we should intercept this. Wait a second, that's not right. What am I doing? What am I doing? All right, now I am from, okay, so I'm from 110 decimals, so I've been talking too much. I've kind of already got lost. So 110.25, where were we tracking? All right, before we get too crazy here, let's do this. Back into heading mode, we can at least kind of make somewhat steady progress. We may have to do some adjusting here, but so Agent Bravo 7 also had a JustFlight plane. Oh yeah, you've been flying those the Tobago and the Trinidad. Those look super fun. I understand that there's a little bit of a, not only is there a sale right now, but there's a little bit of an update for flight model and things like that. All right, so got to again back to business here. So this is the Patuxent VOR. Let's tune that in, 1760. Let's see where the heck we are here. We may already be past that for all I know. 1760. Wouldn't that be something to be lost not even 50 miles from where you took off? Might have to have downwind sim do a little bit of navigation work here for me. All right, 1760. So we are tracking well to the right of that. So that again is supposed to be 046 outbound. So that's where we're at. That's lined up, but I need to. I'm definitely not going to intercept it if I'm heading here. So let's spin around and let's go about 030. And the only complaint I have with this plane is it's super hard to read my DME. Oh, so we're actually past that. Yeah. All right. Which is fine. We're from there. We're already almost 6 miles to the northeast of that. But so yeah. Anyway, that's what we're all about here, is getting lost, flying slant alpha, using the old-fashioned steam gauge. Here's my question for anyone on stream here that has more knowledge than I do. Why do they call this pack of gauges a 6-pack when clearly there are more than 6 gauges? I don't know the answer, by the way. I'm not trying to set you up. I have my theory, but I don't know the answer. Downwind Sim is saying it's these standard 6 that are in the middle, and
standard 6 in the middle.
Okay, that's kind of what I was thinking, but I wasn't positive.
Yeah. So
yeah.
Airspeed, artificial horizon, altimeter.
Those are, yep, and then your vertical speed, yep.
Gyro,
yep, okay. That's just, all right, gotcha. Gotcha. Okay, makes sense. Makes sense. Thanks for the, as always.
The other stuff is because you have all kinds of money and you can own fancy airplanes with all that fancy navigation.
Okay, well, good to know. Okay, now we're on the radial. We'll hop back into nav mode. Yes, if you are a turbo aero aficionado, you recognize the fact that I am cheating because I actually have altitude hold on, and this plane does not have an altitude hold switch, but there's a little tiny hidden click spot right up here above the Piper logo that I do use in certain situations, like when I'm flying into weather that I probably shouldn't be flying into. Lars Rass, GA we like. Yep, that's my jam too. And the people that are here right now, Downwind Sim, Kenny Monster, they're all a part of it too. In fact, Agent Bravo 7, she secretly is a part of it, although she tries to keep us at arm's length because she's got a bit of a reputation to uphold. She's well respected in the flight sim community, and even though she does like hanging out with us, she wants to make sure that everybody else doesn't know that. But she affectionately calls us the Bush Hooligans. So that's I actually wear that with a badge of honor, and I expect my friend Downwind Sim, who is a graphic designer, to come up with something that like we need something up in the corner that says Bush Hooligans or something like that. Um, GA Pilot, what is going on, my friend? Good to see you. I hope you were able to get up in the air somewhere in the virtual VATSIM skies. If not, there's still time to participate in this Greater Binghamton fly-in that the Virtual USA Flying Club is hosting. Make sure you put that in your remarks because it gets you put into a drawing for a $20 Amazon card. But it's more about just having fun in the community. And yeah, so I can't speak to I can't speak to any other aircraft than this one, Aquafunk, but I love the Turbo Arrow. It is a beautiful, brilliant, light, fast GA aircraft. Super challenging to fly. Very makes you really mind your P's and Q's, but a ton of fun. Kind of old school, even though it does have the 7 or the 530 in there, but it's still pretty old school, and but as I understand, Agent Bravo 7, she's talking about the Trinidad and Tobago airplanes that she's been flying. Those look a lot of fun as well. And Titanium Druid said that he has the Warrior 2 and loves it, and he just picked up the JustFlight 152, which is also a plane that really is appealing to me. So Lars is asking where that altitude click spot is. It's right there where the Piper logo is, above the heading. You just click right there, and it'll lock you in as to wherever you're at. Otherwise, if I was really flying this like I should be, I would be just trimming it out and kind of monitoring that. But yeah. So again, Agent Bravo 7, the more the more you try to act like you don't like us and that we annoy you, the more we really know we feel the love. We feel the love. We do not deserve it. So, but yeah, I think from what I understand, and I'm still fairly new, so people that have been flying X-Plane for a while, correct me if I'm wrong. The JustFlight that's some of the best GA aircraft you can purchase on X-Plane. I mean, they're kind of like the A to A of X-Plane as far as the level of detail of systems and one thing, speaking of systems, I do need to look because there's a chance that I'm going to run into icing, and I need to make sure I know. I've got the pitot heat on, which is kind of a standard. I don't need the landing lights anymore. I don't even know if there is. I'm just looking over here. All of these breakers are modeled, by the way, but I'm just trying to see if there's even any kind of there may not be any anti-ice systems. So it might be that kind of plane that you just flat out don't fly when you can have the chance of running into icing conditions. So that doesn't bode well for this for this flight, but we're going to soldier on. I forgot, you can see my right fuel tank much higher than my left. You're supposed to flip that over every 15 minutes, and I keep forgetting. JustFlight or JustFlight, Agent Bravo 7 says. SimCoders is closer to A to A. Okay, and I don't have anything from SimCoders just yet. Who makes the Kodiak that you convinced me to get a while back, Agent Bravo 7? I know Thranda is involved, but is that the company? Um, who makes that Kodiak? That's another fun aircraft that seems pretty detailed. And yeah, Thranda alone. Okay, that's what I thought. So Simcoders, I'm going to have to look into what they do. Again, this is kind of fun to. It's kind of fun to learn all this stuff, you know, because I've been in the world of FSX and P3D for a long, long time, many, many years. And so, absolutely, I do have the links allowed. But so finding out the equivalent high quality aircraft has been a lot of fun. And so far, I've had a lot of really good advice in terms of which planes to pick up. There we go, Simcoders. Oh, so they're part of the Reality Expansion Pack. Ah, that's where it does sound familiar. Okay. So they don't necessarily make aircraft themselves. They just add the REP to all these. The default Cessna 172, which, by the way, also if you have the if you've got the Bush mod for the 172, I do believe that also works on that. The default Baron 58, which if you follow our friend Slant Alpha Adventures, that's what he has. Cessna Centurion, okay, the Bonanza, both of those versions there. Oh, the Carenado Baron as well, the Piper Super Cub, the Marchetti, yeah, and the Pilatus PC-12. Ah, very cool. I see. Okay. All right, Downwind Sim. We'll see you in 15. Hopefully I'll still be in the air. Okay, I better do a quick scan here because we have a lot of turns to make and I don't want to get behind. I already got behind a little bit here. So this leg, we had a changeover point at about 35 miles, 35 DME. How far out are we? We're just about there. So we're gonna be doing a little changeover, and we're gonna start to track the Smyrna 111.4. I'm gonna go ahead and put that in nav 2. Ah, so Lars has the Carenado, the Falcon. That's cool. Yeah, I do. That's an interesting. It's an interesting concept. I do think that sounds pretty amazing. 226 is what we need to track for a radial. So let me just to try to make this transition a little smoother than I usually do. Let's spin the heading bug up here. And we'll just track heading for a second. We'll pop in 11.4. Change that. It's a 226 outbound that we're tracking here. Let's zoom in for my old eyes. 226. Yeah, we're pretty close actually. Pretty straight. So back to nav, and yeah, we're in business. So anyway, going back to the 152, which I talk more about that little plane than it probably deserves to be talked about, but has some sentimental family value to it. So whenever there's any news about that, I tend to speak as much as I can about it. But anyway, I went back and forth between picking up the JustFlight 152 or the Carenado 152, and I ended up going Carenado just because they had the mod that allowed for the Bush setup. But from what I understand, the JustFlight 152 is very, very well modeled and just a great flight model, and the interior looks fantastic. You know, it's just a lot of good eye candy, but a very well put together plane in terms of flight model as well. So I don't think you'll be disappointed either way with what you have there. Well, I'm redlining here. My manifold pressure is super high. I'm not sure. I'm really cooking. Well, not really. 130, but my manifold pressure had snuck up on me just a little bit here. There we go. That's more like it. Kind of like about, I think, 2,300 RPM and, you know, between 35 and 40 inches for manifold pressure. Kind of gets our fuel flow at a halfway decent rate. You know, we don't have to be super lean here at sea level, but we'll save a little bit. Doesn't hurt us at all. So, all right, let's take a look now that we're fairly well established. We have 27 miles until our next vortex. So let's take a peek here, like we do at the VATtastic map, or if you use VATSpy, whatever. But let's see what's happening in the world of VATSIM today. This is us, and this is us, and so we're not quite into New York airspace just yet. Unfortunately, DC is offline. But yeah, we're heading up into this madness right here. Binghamton is eventually where we'd like to be, but as you can see, quite a challenge today. And I don't know, it's going to be interesting. It's going to be fun. We'll have a good time. Don't forget later on tonight, by the way, it's I don't know, what are they calling it? The frozen fly-in, something to that effect in Minneapolis, St. Paul. Deep freeze, Operation Deep Freeze. So that starts here, actually, that's pretty close to Zulu. Yeah, midnight Zulu +1. That should be a lot of fun there. You can actually jump in if you want, and they have, like, yeah, it might be closed now, I guess, but you could actually reserve booking spots with real life aircraft routes and things like that. I don't know that we're going to be able to do it because we have an event tonight that we're going to as well, but it should be a lot of fun, and I don't think their weather actually right now looks as bad as they thought it might. Most of the storm has sort of slid to the east, but that'll be fun coming up. Yeah, Toronto Center online, Albuquerque, and then Seattle Center, and then we've got some Vancouver and Edmonton, right? Is that Edmonton? I think that's Edmonton. Yeah, so some action up there in Canada as well. Kind of working our way west. It doesn't look like Hawaii, Australia, Asia, Europe. Europe is hopping actually. Well, they must. Yeah, they've got it going on today. Okay, there's an event there at Gatwick. I don't know about. Midweek Madness, so that's not even the event right now. This is every Wednesday. Yeah, if you have a chance to jump over there during the week. Some stuff up there, Finland and Sweden, and all kinds of good stuff going on there. And nothing down South America way, but yeah, most of the stuff that's happening is going to be right up here, the New York area, and then sliding over to Minnesota. So you're looking for something to do, those are the places to head. 2 a.m. Yeah, no, it's if you're like most of us and you've got your day job, you're not doing the midweek madness at Gatwick, which is also why I don't have a lot of my Australian friends checking in here when I'm flying, you know, at noon on a Saturday. They're in bed as well. That's okay. I do like to slide over to Europe every now and again, although I don't do it on stream very often, just because I'm still trying to familiarize myself with, you know, just the differences in phraseology and things of that nature, the different airspaces. But it's fun. They have great controllers over there, just like we have, and so yeah, a lot of fun to get over there and fly in different spots. It's a big world, and there's some pretty amazing places. Well, here we go. It's weather time, and now it's time to find out if our plane actually simulates icing or not, because I would have to think that we are probably probably getting in that area. So we're on our way up here to Smyrna, and let's turn on some layers here. We got our weather layer, which is ugly, and our icing layer. Let's see what that's telling us. All right, so okay, I'm not there. Well, yeah. So far the icing is kind of, well, no, we're in it. We're in the middle. I was like, we don't have it, but we're right in the middle of it. So, yeah, I guess if it's going to happen, we're going to find out, and that'll be something we learn, and we'll just make an adjustment. In real life, yeah, you wouldn't be flying this plane in this weather. There's just no question about it. But I don't mind. Just, you just test yourself. And it's fun to fly an IFR plan in real IFR conditions as well. All right. Just a quick look. Fuel is starting to balance out. In fact, it's time to, I think, hop back over to the, nope, we're on the right fuel tank. Right, still a little bit higher, so we'll wait till that comes down. And everything else, though, looking good. Oil pressure, temp, looking good. These manifold pressure, RPMs, fuel flow, all looking good. Still making good suction there, making good power. Yeah, a little over 130 right now, so that we'll take that. We will take that. Checking the list over here. I think everything else is ready to rock. Yep, we're good to go. Trying to find my, yep, there it is. Wow, I've crossed over 20 hours in this plane finally. So not a lot of time in this bird. Need to set up a camera angle for this, don't I? Let's see, what if I did number 9? I think that looks like a good. Try that. Yeah, come look at my nav panel here. Do I need this too? No, I just this. This will be good. So 7.5 miles out from Smyrna. What did I say? Smyrna. And then from Smyrna, we're going to turn north, direct north, 360, and we're going to track that. That's a 27-mile leg to DuPont. And actually, we'll have a lot of in-between waypoints here, but really all we're doing is just we're just following the Victor 29 or the Victor 170. And yeah, we have this if we want. We've got the 530 that we could use. We really aren't. I could honestly do like what Slant Alpha does. Turn the menu on, or how does he do that? He does something to where you can't see. Like, yeah, he does something like that to where you can't see. Just so you know that we are flying true Slant Alpha. Oh, and we're starting to lose our VOR, so we're getting pretty close. That's what that means. Yep, we're 4 miles out. So let's go ahead. We'll just pop nav mode here and just hold her steady. This plane does tend to kind of S-turn a little bit when we start to get close to the VOR. It really tries to track and go left and right. Hey, Slant Alpha, speak of the devil. Yes, so I was just trying to hold true to your teachings there. We've got the 530, and I couldn't remember how you managed to cover that up so people didn't think I was peeking and cheating here. We're trying to Slant Alpha this Mustang into Binghamton. Were you able to fly up here? 1.8, by the way. 360. We're We're going to change our course to 360. I have been summoned. Enjoyed your stream. I was able to watch. Actually, caught up with it a little bit this morning. Looked like you had a lot of fun heading back into heading into your stomping grounds there at Baltimore. Oh, yep. Okay, doing the side hustle. Yeah, I kind of had a little bit of that going on myself early on. In fact, I thought I was going to completely miss out on either this flight or the deep freeze up in Minneapolis, St. Paul. And I probably am going to miss out on the Minneapolis, St. Paul event, but I got done early enough that I was able to come down here. So I'm going to see if I can get into trouble in the Piper Turbo Aero. As I understand it, the weather at Binghamton is less than stellar. Let's see, what's it say right now? And let me show you. Showers. That's better than snow. Ooh, it's up from a quarter statute mile to 2 statute miles. So now we're rain, broken at 900, broken at 1400, overcast at 5000. Oh heck, it's like a spring day there now. I believe we got a couple of hours before the heavy stuff starts coming down. We're at 5,000, so we'll be just right at that overcast layer. And but the freezing fog has gone away, so that's good. Yeah. You did well. You did well. The PMDG is a fun plane, but systems heavy. And but you did a nice job, I thought. Atlanta can be its own animal, especially on an FNO. I mean, it's like, yeah, we were. So you had mentioned that we were way behind you when we ended up, and part of that is because that 737-200 it barely does 250 knots at cruise. So that was a huge part of it. But then we ended up getting cleared by one approach controller to runway 10, and then the second approach controller thought we were supposed to be on 9 or right, and so it not that cost us a bunch of time, but it led for a little bit of a confusing approach, and I felt kind of bad for the second approach controller, but he did a really nice job of sorting it out, and we ended up in good shape. All right, so we are just a little bit right of course, so I'm going to go ahead. I'm still flying heading mode. We're going to turn, instead of 360, we're going to go 350. We're going to just see if we can intercept that outbound. Again, this is a pretty short leg, so we don't have time to mess around too much. It's only 27 miles until we get up to our next. It's DuPont's, and we're already 8 miles past, so we got to try to get on that. Try to get on that outbound sooner rather than later. And then we're pretty consistent from there. We are coming into DuPont on a 181. We'll flip that over about halfway. So 27 cut in half is a little over 13. There we go. Just about have it. And then we exit DuPont on a 358. So it's a pretty short but very north oriented leg right here. And yeah, we've got this moderate icing pretty well all the way up our route, but I haven't noticed any, I don't, like I say, I don't know if it's something that's modeled or not, but I don't see any visible ice on the wings. I haven't really noticed any difference in performance. We've got the pitot heat on, so all, our airspeed has been consistent, and Oh yeah, gotcha. Yeah, I mean, and you can crank it up to Mach 0.78 or you can get 0.80, but it's you're pretty well firewalling the thing, and so I try not to if I can help it. I generally fly at about about 0.72, which again is like it's not quite that slow, but it's like 260 I think. And then we had I don't know if we had a little bit of headwind also. I don't remember, but it was fun nonetheless. I held up a 777 behind me. He had to wait on me all night long. So, and then I made you also have to wait on the taxiway. So win-win, really. All right, here we go. 3 miles, 3.9er. No, 14 miles. Jeez, Louise. When is my eye doctor appointment again? It's coming up, right? These clouds are trippy, aren't they? We're right at the edge here. And then this. Does anyone know, by the way, in the stream, every time I take a screenshot in X-Plane, it saves it as a like a GIF or a not a GIF or a TIFF. It saves it as a format that is way too big for me to upload on Twitch or YouTube as a thumbnail. Is there a way to change that setting so that it saves it as a JPEG? Does anybody know? I haven't been able to find it if there is, but I haven't exactly done exhaustive research on it either. Usually I have to end up going into the folder and then like saving it with like the snipping tool or opening it up in Lunapic or something and saving it as a JPEG. But if I could avoid that extra step, that'd be great. Yeah, I was trying to give you like a little bit of old school pollution there to get up in your packs so that your passengers were getting a little bit loopy and just so they know we meant business. It's pretty amazing. So I'm trying to count. So it's been Seattle was the first place that we ended up fairly close, like one person landing in front of the other, and then seems like there's been a couple of other times, and then last night we were one plane apart on the taxiway. It's bizarre. Oh man. Yeah, and I'm not as good as that with that tool as you are, but that's kind of what I'm hearing from everybody else as well. So if that's the case, then that's the case. But all right, so yeah, definitely in icing conditions, aren't we? We're about 15 degrees Fahrenheit or negative 10 Celsius. So yep, we would be making some ice today. And Dimitri Lee checking in. Hello, sir. Happy Saturday. Welcome to another edition of Prop Culture. We're flying in the Virtual USA Flying Club event, the Binghamton, which I mistakenly called Binghamton all week long. The Binghamton fly-in. So still time, by the way, if you want to join. I think it's going, gosh, I think there's another hour or so. I could be wrong. What time is it? It's 21. Well, no, actually, I take that back. It ends at the bottom of the hour. So I may not even make it on time. But anyway, it's, 20 minutes. Yeah, well, I'm not going to make it into Binghamton. Me and names. We don't always see eye to eye. Yep, starting to hit a little bit of that turbulence. We're going to start getting bounced around just a bit, but that's sort of what we're used to, what we're expecting. Okay, let's hop over. By the way, so we need to track DuPont's. 114.0. Let's just pull that up here and make this easy on ourselves. $14-0. All right, we'll flip that VLOC over, give that a second to kind of hopefully stabilize, because we're pretty well on course. Or not, or it can just stay way, way to the right for some reason. All right, lesson learned. Engage the nav first. Maybe DuPont is just not active. Let's tune in the next one, which is Modena 13.2, and that does happen. I mean, I don't know why, but it does happen. Oh gosh, 13.
Looks like the weather's turning a little bit more toward the work.
Oh boy, I would say you're right. There we go. Modena looks like it's more, a little more friendly to us here, and Modena is essentially on the same path. It's a little bit more to the west. All right, so we'll flip this around. 177. I don't know, that's pretty doggone close to where we are right now. So yeah, we'll spin her back. We'll make a little bit of a course correction to grab that radial. But yeah, we're downwind sim. That's the voice from above that you hear if you're joining us a little bit later on. Welcome to come over to the Discord voice channel if you want, and just give me your 2 cents. Tell me your best story about growing up with your grandparents in Tappahannock, Essex County. That's the theme of the day. It's another great story.
Tappahannock.
That's what I said. Tappahannock Creek, one of my favorite fishing holes. So the story behind that.
A place called Nailor's Beach. We always went camping.
Nice. The story behind that, by the way, it's a relatively new story. It's an hour and 7 minutes long. First off, I didn't know if I was going to be able to fly in this, so when I got done with work early, I came home, rushed home. Don't have hardly any pre-planning, foresight, whatever. I just jumped into the sim and pulled up SkyVector, and I'm like, where can I fly that's about, I've got about 2 hours before my next gig. So where can I fly that's less than 2 hours away that also is not quite yet in the weather? And I saw Kilo X-Ray Sierra Alpha, Tappahannock, Essex County, and so I just spawned there, and that's where I flew from. Well, it turns out that honestly in real life is the home of Downwind Sim's one set of grandparents, and he essentially, kind of grew up down there or spent a ton of time down there. So kind of another one of those small world things that I thought it's kind of cool. It'll live in the Downwind Sim Melvin Leroy lore forever.
And that lore goes on and on and on.
Well, I don't know if it's
on.
Yeah, is it because we have a rich history, or is it because we just don't have a whole lot of other good stories?
I think because we're old and we just like
American Airlines 20.
He does, man. That guy, he's the Johnny Cash of VATSIM. He is everywhere. All right, so we slight change of plans. We are now heading inbound to Modena. I can't believe no one has made a funky cold Modena reference yet, but that's usually Aslan Alpha's deal. He's the one. He's the one that's always dredging up pop culture. From Modena, we are going to be turning, looks like a 025 to Pottstown. It's just a bunch of these little jogs here, but we're essentially just following the Victor 29er airway. But I appreciate the regular vortex because, as you can see, there's not a whole lot of visual references here. So it's having those Having those is not a bad thing. All right, so we're coming in here 3. I'm going to attempt to do a better job of
Al South
transitioning.
is in the house.
Hey, Mr. Dominguez, good to see you, sir. All right, there we go. Now we're starting to chase and do all that stuff. Let's just go to heading mode and let this guy flip from to from. Our resident historian, the really the brains of the operation, Mr. Al South MIA. Also the award winner for least amount of sleep per
Mister,
week.
I can land a DC-3 on that patch.
Oh my goodness, yes. That's another good, that actually is a good story. You know, sometimes your model matching doesn't really, like, it's not the best in the West, and sometimes you think you see a DC-3 and it's really not a DC-3. Well, one time we were doing the bush flying thing, and there was this DC-3 flying with us. It was Al South MIA, and he was really in a DC-3. Now Northwest Orient, yeah, checking in. He now makes regular use of the DC-3 in our little bush adventures. So it's a cool way to see the country. All right, I'm gonna head here. 025 is what we're supposed to be doing. I think we probably shot past it, so I'm gonna go 030. Let's get this guy over here to our outbound 025, and I probably, once I get talking about the DC-3, I get a little distracted. I'm easy to distract anyway. Yeah, Al South just learned about the new VFR club. Talking about the virtual USA Flying Club, I assume. It's a good group. You fit right in, man. Al South is definitely another propeller head. Yeah, we may have went way too far past. All right, let's go about 050. See if we can re-intercept. We're already 2.8 miles past Modena, and we're inbound Pottstown. Yeah, you know, Slant, I've been looking at a few from departed flights, and there's some there's some awesome tours that I think a guy could do with the DC-3. I had a lot of fun when I flew that Blue Spruce route over to Normandy. That was a good time. It included a few fairly lengthy oceanic legs, but it was still worth it. I enjoyed every minute of it. My only regret is I had practiced and practiced, because there was in P3D there's a way that you can actually get the parajumpers to exit, you know, and I practiced and practiced and practiced, thought I had it down, and the day that I flew the actual final leg over there to do, you know, on the 6th or whatever, my paratrooper thing didn't work, so I was a little bit bummed out. That's him in 2015. Yep, barely any GA. Everything was, yep, PMDG. Now, VATSIM 2020. Caravans of single and twins. Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. Propeller heads unite. All right. Well, again, a lot of these little short legs, so this one from Modena to Pottstown is only 19 miles, and we're already 8 miles out. So I don't see any reason not to flip over 16.5. I have yet to make a smooth transition from an inbound to an outbound VOR. Kind of nice to do that at least once here before we I just did there, but I don't think it was good. Okay, Pottstown, 16.5. I'm going to be getting into the New York ARTC area here pretty soon. Jib Jab. Yep, the occasional DC-8. You gotta have a little bit of a guilty pleasure, right? It's kind of like our guy 757 Spy, our friend Dave. He's Mr. Boeing, but lo and behold, every now and again, you catch him in the Airbus, and that's okay. All right, the next one, we'll put this in ahead of time so we don't have to keep farting around with getting behind the curve here. 110.2, that'll be East Texas, which is what we have coming up. All right, let's close that off. I think, yep, I need to take a look. Pottstown 205 is that's pretty much where we're at, guys. All right, let's spin our heading meter over, or heading bug over, and try to intercept this just a little bit more. Classics are on the rise. Yeah. Agent Bravo 7 knows what's up. She makes that 727 purr like a kitten. I have a lot of fun in the DC-8. I like the L1011. Of course, I flew the 737-200 last night, and Slant Alpha mentioning the DC-3. That's actually, I believe, if I'm not mistaken, that's actually where I first met you. I was coming into somewhere, and you were getting ready to head out in your DC-3, and I'm like, hey, wish I could fly with you anyway. The rest is history. Little did I know how much I didn't know at the time, and yeah, it was pretty fun. It's been a fun year of learning. I'm not making this flight if I don't trade paint with Slant Alpha on that taxiway all those months ago. Classics are on the rise. The emphasis on lucky, sometimes making it safe as a matter of sheer luck. Yeah, I don't know. I think you underestimate yourself. I watched you land a TBM on a backcountry strip one time, making one of the most famous CTAF calls that I can remember. Something about November yada 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 turning effing final. That was like the second time I had listened to one of your streams. I'm like, oh, okay. She's not like the others. I like that. That was good. It was good. Okay, so this is Pottstown, and we're blowing right over the top, so it's like major corrections. 354 is the outbound, so I'm just going to go ahead and spin that in. 354. That was good, but you nailed it. I mean, there's 350, 1, 2, 3, 4. And I'm going to actually track here, gosh, like probably about 340 just to see if I can pick it up. The only problem with these little short legs is if you don't grab them right away, you don't have a ton of time to kind of make up for that. There it comes. That's not too bad. That was probably my best one yet. Okay, localizer or nav mode engaged. This is only 22-mile leg. We go up to East Texas. That's right, East Texas, Pennsylvania. So there's that. Not like the others. Slant Alpha hits the nail on the head. Actually, Agent Bree, we talk about Al South being the brains of the operation. Agent Bravo 7 is definitely the muscle. She brings the intimidation factor to the stream. All right, 3.2 miles already away from Pottstown. I need to kind of zoom out here and take a little bit of a overhead view of what's going on. So there was Pottstown. We're heading out here to East Texas, and I do have the weather turned off just so I can see. And then we're just, yeah, we're getting pretty close here, guys. We're going to be up here to Diano. Hey, in honor of Agent Bravo 7, we're flying the Diano intersection, and then it's north 69 miles to this is the Binghamton VOR, and then we will try to do our best to get down on the ground here at Greater Binghamton. So let's just see here. Is this it's kind of a north-south orientation, if I'm not right. Uh-oh. Why are you not opening? That's not good. 16 and 34. We do have the ILS we could shoot. I'm guessing we're going to have to shoot it. And we'll start taking a peek at the weather. Do I have New York Center? Yes, I do. I should probably check in. I haven't got any kind of a contact me, but I am officially flying an IFR flight plan. So let's check in and let's get our clearance, just so we're legal and not making those guys upset. Might be flying in the way of places that we don't realize. New York Center 2532 is where we'll start. Whoops, 25. Yep, there we go.
Yeah, just go down to 180 for now, and then cross Cameron at 11,250 knots, altimeter 3023. Roger that, thank you.
1820 Center, right at 2318, wind to level 6,000.
United 2318, New York Center. Climb and maintain flight level 230, or make it 220 for now.
Climb 220, United 2318.
New York Center, good afternoon, November 11816.
November 11816, where you at?
We're just north of the Pottstown VOR. We do have an IFR flight plan filed, but I'd like to pick up the clearance.
November 11816, New York Center, squawk 6656 for now.
6656, November 11816.
New York American 1822, hardline.
American 1822, stand by for hire.
6656.
You already want somebody to approach for
Okay, there we go. We are on ALT.
Yeah, they took the handoff. Contact them.
All right, 11 miles, by the way, north of Pottstown on a 22 mile. So let's 110.2. Oh boy, being up in a helicopter today in this weather would be something else.
Where are you?
Okay, 110.2.
Off Kennedy.
Yeah, got it now.
Flip
Number
that.
1 Mike Whiskey. Radar contact, turn left.
Our next, we're going to track that actually for quite a ways. And then the next one is Binghamton, 112.2.
130 on the heading.
Left 130, 9 Mike Whiskey.
So that'll be ready. That'll be our last VOR to track, and then we'll be trying to pick up a localizer with any luck.
Welcome back, soldier.
All right, you know what I haven't done in a while is I have not flipped over my fuel. Yep, so my right's a little lower than my left, but not terrible. Let's flip it over to the left-hand side. Try to keep balanced out as much as we can. Again, a quick scan of temps and pressures. All look good. We're hanging tough. Just fell a little bit to the left of our course. We're about 8 miles out. I don't know how. I'm not going to try to chase that too aggressively, but we will try to come over and capture it. Head maybe due north. We're supposed to be coming in on a 174 outbound,
6746, thank you.
which is about what we have tuned in right now. So we did slide quite a ways left, of course. But also, since we're closing in here, this may be a little bit exaggerated. So again, we'll keep coming a little bit. I don't want to go crazy trying to head to the right because we make this left-hand turn to 325 here in just a second anyway. So, but I would like to be
Lufthansa 416,
somewhat
cross
on
March,
the
clear
Victor
10 to
Airways,
maintain
since that's what we have
14,000.
filed, and the controller is trying to figure out where the heck we are. So, all right.
American 1671, roger.
Well, Aqua Funkalistic, actually, what I'm saying is I don't know if this simulates icing. I'm not seeing anything in my plane that indicates that there's an anti-ice system. The only thing that I see that has any kind of external heat is the pitot heat.
No.
So
If you need a block
my
from
guess
340
is,
to
and again, if anyone is
or
a
340
real
to
world
400,
pilot
that's
and wants to
approved,
correct
there's
me,
nobody
feel
around.
free, because my knowledge is extremely limited. But my guess is that this would be a plane that you just simply
Lufthansa
would not
416,
fly
traffic's 12 o'clock.
in
7 miles,
icing
a Boeing 737-800,
situations.
flight level
Uh-oh.
380.
Agent Bravo 7
Going
is
to the west, you're going to the south traffic zone.
crashing my party here. Well, so far so good, I guess. I mean, I haven't noticed a decrease in performance, and we've flown through moderate icing really most of the way, so far so good. Okay, 2.5 miles. We did a terrible job of tracking Pottstown. That's where you can see we're way off. We're west of course here, so that's not good. So 354 is our outbound. So let's put that in right now. 350. That's about where we were. 1, 2, 3, 4.
5230.
We're just going to continue on a 010 heading until we intercept that, and that's our next leg here. No. This is East Texas we're coming into, isn't it? Sorry, we're 325. That's why it looked like we were on the right course, because that's where we were. 325 outbound. So there's 320. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. But again, we're going to do the same thing. All right, there we go. Now we're to and from. It's going to take just a second.
Thank you. Have a good day, sir.
Boeing 307 to center, maintain 8,000. Binghamton, altimeter 2985.
We're going to come around here to 325 on the heading.
My bad, make it 9,000.
We're going to see after this stabilizes a little bit, after we get a little bit further away from the VR, and see what kind of an adjustment we need to make.
General aviation ramp, taxi construction, EFR, Binghamton at 1,005.
You said you're at Ithaca?
Yes.
Yeah.
If I'm not mistaken, Ithaca is covered by the Elmira approach sector, and contact.
Watch the
124.3.
airspeed.
Good day.
Yep, and so we've been pretty steady. I did at one point in time have my manifold pressure jump way up, which might indicate that the engine's working harder than it, a little bit harder than it did at departure, but that's really been the only thing so far that I've noticed. Pop-up icing display. Is that?
November 109 Mike Whiskey, Kudirect, Deer Park, Hummer, maintain 5,000.
I need to pay attention to the. Oh, so this is a plug-in.
Lufthansa 400,
Okay, I might check that out after the flight. I need to start paying attention to center though, guys. So we are. All of a sudden, we went from left of course to right of course. So let's keep making our adjustments here on the outbound.
Hold 1,000 for now, heading
We're going to need
040.
probably 030 to intercept this. This is a 67-mile leg, so. Uh-oh, why did I get beep beep? Oh, I just got discoed from VATSIM. I didn't even see. Was there a warning there, guys? Did I have my low frames warning? I didn't see anything. I wonder if I just got bumped.
Delta 2949, we're at a 2,200 for 5,000.
There we go. Just about have it now. Spin that over to nav mode. And we're just about to hit warp speed, apparently.
2,500 for 5,000.
Delta 2949.
Yeah, so Slant Alpha is
contact, climb and maintain flight level.
Talking about a problem that actually Downwind Sim had, and I'm sure that's why Downwind Sim did his homework and found that display. But he was flying the other day and just kind of out of nowhere got a couple of warning lights, and within, I don't even think you had a 60 seconds to make adjustments, and you were down on the ground.
It's been a long day.
So it'll be good. It'll be a good thing to have. I'll check it out.
Great, I appreciate it.
All right, 7.6. Again, this is a 67 nautical mile leg from Allentown up to, or excuse me, East Texas, up to the Diano intersection, and then from Diano, we're going to track north toward Binghamton. Oh yeah, I remember Slant Alpha. You had that problem. That's right. I do remember that.
Number 11816. What did you want a clearance to?
Well, I had filed the IFR into Binghamton, and I just was, I guess, going to make sure that was okay with you.
I see Kilo Foxtrot.
Oh
Tango
my gosh.
Golf.
I just got bumped. Let me refile that and get that accurate again. Sorry about that. All right. Here's a gripe about X-Pilot.
Delta 843 is going to maintain 7,000.
I had filed
7,000.
a flight plan when I left that was correct.
November 23 Echo Foxtrot, you can expect 22 left into Kennedy.
I like 22 left into
And I don't know why, but it sometimes will bounce you
November
back
412, you with me?
to, geez, I don't even know where my alternate would be, but I left at about,
you're going to fill it up,
geez, about 2000. It's about 2 hours and 50 minutes. I think I have 4 hours of fuel.
And,
5,000. Yeah, none of this is right. That's right. So why would that still be in there?
Kennedy direct exit, thank you.
What a mess. Okay. There's one more thing that you don't want to have to deal with in the middle of heavy weather. Oh well.
IND 738, just confirm, what was your call sign?
So I guess now this becomes a pop-up IFR, which, no big deal, either way.
ND 738, New York Center, squawk 6661.
Lufthansa 4 is hello.
Lufthansa 400, clear X Alpha.
He's so busy right now with bigger traffic that we may just be able to slide quietly into the afternoon.
Alpha it is, 22 left.
We actually are going to be well. Yep, there we go. We do have that disconnect warning. Guess we'll see what happens. I was worried about that though with this heavy weather.
IND 738,
Active sky does tend to pull on the frames.
Very low in the microphone.
Wow.
Center maintain 7,000. Just keep your speed up. There's traffic behind you. 50 knot overtake.
That's something, isn't it? What if this? Let's take a look from the outside. Hi there.
Delta 843 for the traffic.
Oh yeah, we are crabbing a bit. Looks like we're flying towards the jaws of a monster or something. Mouth closing in around us.
Just confirming, we are 22 left, correct?
Affirm, 22 left.
Thank you.
That's a screenshot.
23 Echo Foxtrot, descend to maintain 9.
9,000 and after Robert, can we get direct depart for the ILS 22?
Okay, so let's see. Like I said, 67 nautical miles up to the Diano intersection.
I have 3 other aircraft inbound.
I do remember that. Yeah, Slant Alpha, that's a good watch. You know, it was interesting to watch your debrief after the fact, and just how that was where I realized kind of the power of the community, because if I recall, there were a lot of people that actually walked you through that and suggested that icing might have been the culprit,
22 monitor Unicom 12.8, Washington,
which
Dog,
after
good day.
you investigated it,
Good work.
See ya.
For 1307, what heading do you want for a start at?
you know, it made a lot of sense. So,
You should be on approach 118.6. My bad.
yep, I like that guy too. Robbie is his name.
1671,
Robbie
contact,
Sawari.
never mind, there's nobody online.
He does a good job.
Radar service is terminated. Frequency change approved. Have a good flight.
He manages those big birds pretty darn well. Nice guy.
Lufthansa 4000, established ILS 22 left.
Lufthansa 400, thank you. Contact Kennedy Tower 19-1. Good day.
Contact Kennedy Tower. Many thanks, sir. Bye-bye. Lufthansa 4000.
New York Center, November 70 Echo, uniform still waiting for clearance.
Well, Slant Alpha, I don't know what that's like. I've never learned a tough lesson, especially in flight sim.
70 Echo uniform.
So,
that is right.
yeah, I don't know what to tell you, dude. We are lucky. Our checklists are not written in blood, and really, we shouldn't make light of that kind of stuff, even though it is
November 70 Echo uniform.
it is
cleared
just
to
a
Binghamton
sim. I'm not going
Airport.
to say it's just a game. It's a sim. It's
By
not real life, but
Ravine, that is filed.
there are a lot of people that have learned the hard way, and it are the reason why the planes have the systems that they have and the procedures that they have, and as we try to do our very best to simulate those as realistically as possible. It's
Yeah, unfortunately, I don't have the.
it's a fine line to walk between not taking yourself too seriously, but also not making light of real life aircraft accidents. Not liking the fact that I keep getting that warning. Just a sim. Well, now wait a second. Just a sim? I thought it was just a game. I thought if anybody dared to call this a game, a video game, then we simmers are supposed to come unglued.
Sounds good to me, thank you.
Alright, I still need to get my pop-up, but I'm having a hard time getting the word in edgewise here.
Call for further climb.
Holiday 107.
And hopefully I've given him a chance to kind of look at it.
7, you left my airspace to the southwest. Washington's off. Climb is at your own discretion.
Okay. Changing uniform. Thank you for the service.
At Miami Center, November 11816, we have the flight plan refiled. I guess we're requesting a pop-up IFR. We're about 20 miles northwest of East Texas.
Alright, November 11816. Cleared to the Binghamton Airport via radar vectors or via direct East Texas. And it's filed. Keep the squawk and the frequencies with me.
Alright, direct East Texas then is filed. We'll maintain our squawk code and stay on frequency with you. Appreciate that. Sorry for the confusion, 11816.
No worries.
Alright. I don't know why I keep looking at the wings, because it's not going to be a visual anyway. Oh yeah, no, I understand what you mean, Bravo 7. And I get that, especially if you have any kind of ties to true aviation. You understand how important simulations and the kind of the world that we live in, even though it is a hobby for most of it. This part is, at least for me, you know, the vast majority of us are not ever going to really be real world pilots per se. But I do think you feel a strong connection to the world of aviation, and at the end of the day, we're just trying to do the best we can to kind of promote aviation, and so that's, yeah, I'm with you. I'm not a big fan of anybody doing that type of down talking anyway, but I also do understand why people do get so touchy about when they say it's a game or just a sim. I mean, it's not Call of Duty. It's not Fortnite. It's not Minecraft. It's a different, entirely different mentality.
We've got the traffic ahead of us.
American 793, squawk 673.
All right, guys and gals, let's see. We're 0.9 miles, actually already heading away from East Texas. So even though we were cleared to East Texas, we're up here already. We're about halfway. There's our Diano intersection, and then we turn north. Now here's the question, I guess. We're going to be 60 plus miles away from Binghamton, so we'll attempt to pick that up and track that inbound. But if that doesn't work, we may have to pick up down here to Lancaster.
Can I get that altitude again?
We may have to track that outbound for just a while. Yeah, we're about 70 miles away, so that'll be kind of interesting to see. I think what I'll do is I'll put Lancaster in nav 2, and I'll put Binghamton in nav 1. Now it's starting to get dark out because my red cockpit lighting is starting to take effect. So Binghamton is okay. I've got that in already. 112.2, and we'll put in the Lancaster 117.3.
Gotcha. Into descent, reduce to 210.
I'll reduce down to.
All right. Well, that's active. So at least we know we can track that if we need to. That, by the way, would be 030. So let's update this.
1457 uniform. Go
Another thing
ahead.
I should check. I haven't checked my. You know what I haven't done in a while is I haven't checked my. Let me get this spun around there. We'll check my compasses. So right now I'm heading 300. This is a little off, isn't it? All right, so this is tough. This is tough to update in flight, isn't it?
Don't know the winds, runway 9 or left. Oh, correction, 13, clip takeoff.
All right, so this is what I want to do. I ultimately want to be traveling about 310. This may not be very doable, guys, but I do have to get this. Updated.
American 793, same for you, 9 right Zulu, 3019 in the altimeter.
Let's spin. Let's see how this kind of stabilizes. See how close we are.
It's American 793 to ILS 9 right Zulu, 9 left. Correction, 9 right.
Russia is more toxic than the United States when it comes to that kind of stuff. I thought we led the world in making people feel bad about themselves if they didn't, agree exactly the same as we did. All right, that looks like it's did a pretty good job. Now we're 320. That says 320. That's better. That'll really come in handy when we're trying to pick up a localizer, especially if we're down to, minimums. Binghamton right now, by the by. 190.7. Still have rain. It looks like our visibility is improving. We're up to 10 statute miles now. Broken at 900, broken at 1600, overcast 3600. So visibility still going to be a bit of an issue, but we were kind of ready for that to begin with. So let's see if the diagrams. Yeah, for some reason we don't have the diagram. I may have to open up a different. May have to open up a different tool here. ILS runway 16. Okay, that at least is showing us. So we landed to the south. We need to, and we don't. I didn't look. I should have. Okay, there's no approach or no arrival procedure. So we will be shooting the ILS runway 16. We will be here. We'll pick up the Binghamton. I'm guessing that we will get a vector here, probably on the right downwind, kind of ish. If not, we can track outbound the 015 outbound radial to the Eder intersection, then we could turn and come in here But looks like our bench is 3,100, which is not a problem for us. We're only at 5,000 right now. So 110.3, 158.
You're gonna be extremely close.
Airport elevation is 1,600 feet.
Over to approach.
Missed approach, climb to 2,100, then make a right-hand turn to 3,700. We're going to be direct to the Bingham VOR and hold. So we just come out. If we miss it, we hang a left, we get up to 3,700, and then we enter the hold right here. Let's hope that doesn't happen.
Passing flight level 150.
That surprises me, Agent Bravo 7. I guess I just felt like we were the most selfish country in the world.
We are inbound.
The most entitled and selfish and
Inbound rubber.
yeah. And you're right. It's a person-to-person deal, and you know, 90% of the people I interact with on a daily basis are awesome. But the minority can really undo a lot of work in a hurry. Okay, the threshold of runway 16 drops down a hill. Land long. Okay, so
Solaris 1234, just confirm
okay.
you're going to continue on that left turn to 070, or you're going to stay on a 1.
I don't think this has a. Yeah, I think it does actually have a glide slope. So
Solaris
okay.
1234, roger, just maintain 7,000 for now. Have a further climb in a moment.
All right, so time to flip back over to the right tank.
Yeah, make it 2,000.
Alright, down 2,000. 314 Tango Bravo. New York Center, United 412 Bravo.
So one thing about having this tuned in, by the way, and again, that's that Lancaster, which is down south of the Diano intersection, is that'll give us a little bit of a heads up too as to when we're actually approaching that intersection. You know, we're looking at the DME, we're 48 miles out, and our sectional is telling us it's a 67 mile leg. So I mean, I know we're getting close, but that'll be a nice, I guess, a nice little cross reference. And we want to be flying from there. We're going to be turning right 015. I'm going to go ahead and just spin that in and just try to stay ahead as much as I can. You know, when I spawn there downwind, I guess I didn't notice that, so that'll be interesting to see what it looks like in the default version. Hopefully it's semi flat. Uh-oh, we're losing our controller here.
Thank you, Solaris 1234, climb and maintain 1717,000.
To 1717,000 flyers.
November 314, Tango Bravo, return right turn heading 130, reduce to 180 on the speed.
Alright, 180 on the speed, can I get that heading again for 314 Tango Bravo?
130 on the heading.
Alright, 130 and 180 on the speed for 314 Tango Bravo.
So we do have Mike, the founder of the Virtual USA Flying Club. He is working tower at Binghamton. And we also have Binghamton approach. So if we lose these dudes, I think we're going to tune in Binghamton approach. That's 1860. Let's go ahead and just put that in.
Oh.
I think we'll just, maybe he'll hang out long enough to hand us off there.
There was like a ton of a 90 traffic. Send a maintain.
1860,
Bring it
yep.
all the way down to 3,000.
We'll keep that ready to go. So I think we'll actually be okay.
I'm going to slow down for this traffic in front of me.
Yeah, slow it all the way down to 180. That's perfect.
Hopefully that's not me he's talking about.
We'll slow to 180 for American 793 Heavy.
No.
American
We
451, send a maintain.
don't
3,000.
have any heavies
And,
coming
slow
to where we're going, so.
Down
Oh,
to
that's
3,000,
pretty.
Down to 210, American 451. November 412. You're going to Woodstown, correct?
Going to Philadelphia, November 412.
Catching a little bit of color out there.
November 412, clear direct Woodstown VOR.
Be nice if that was the edge of the storm and we would just break through right before we get to Binghamton.
Solaris 1234, turn left, direct neon, climb and maintain flight level 240.
Left turn, direct neon, and up to 240. That's center stop 34.
Delta 843, runway 22 left, clear to land.
Clear to land to the left, 843.
All right, 55
November 2,
miles
Foxtrot, number 2 following traffic, 3 mile final.
away from East Texas. A 67-mile leg. That guy is, oh, I was going to say he's now out of range, so we're going to have to hope for the Binghamton VOR to lead us home. I do not have the ortho for this tile actually down. When I looked at it, and I had set up a bunch of it for kind of the Boston, New York, Connecticut, area up around there, but I noticed that this is not one that I have. I don't believe. I could be wrong, but I think this is a little further east than what I've all cooked already. But I guess we'll figure it out. I mean, again, we're learning together on the stream.
All right, thanks. We'll be on our way, and we'll just monitor.
All right. I feel like there is.
Delta 843. I think we'll make.
I feel like there's more.
Switching in the car because he's turning off, correct?
Delta 843. Yep, I'm going to be closing.
I don't know if this is going to help me out that much, but it kind of gives you a little bit more of a glow and can see some things.
Yeah.
I don't know if there's other lights.
Make that turn anymore, so I'll go around and come back.
This is not a well-lit cockpit.
Delta 843, that was my apology. So if you want, I'll put you back on the localizer, and then
We do have the radio and nav lights. Those are already turned on. We have the, this is the panel, I believe, panel lighting. Yep, it's already on. It's maxed out. I don't see any other control knobs here. I think that red ambient light is kind of what else you have to work with.
American 451, turn right turn heading 360.
Yep, I don't see anything else.
360, American 451.
We'll have to work.
793, just to confirm, we're going down to 3, right?
Okay, we're closing in here, guys. We're over 60 miles away from East Texas.
November 412, center maintain 6,000.
Center maintain 6,000, November 412.
Delta 2949.
So, Agent Bravo 7's talking about a very difficult approach off stream. Yeah, is that part of your the tour that you're doing in the 727? I like that idea. I think that's pretty awesome. I haven't had a chance to fly it though. Okay, I'm going to get a little bit of vertigo, so we're going to turn off the strobes here.
Airspace to the southwest. Washington's off.
Just while we're in this mess. Actually, that's probably not smart.
We're off to advisory 2949, kid.
Sorry about it. You're going to have to deal with the disco light here. Okay, so you'll stream the whole winter tour. It's funny though how you
11816. I'm going to be closing, but Binghamton's going to take you early. Contact him 18.6. Good day.
1860. Much appreciated. Have a good day. 11816.
You're welcome.
All right.
November 23 Echo Foxtrot.
Here we go. Just like we wanted.
Air Canada 315, contact Binghamton Tower 119.3.
And we do have an ATIS here, by the way.
315.
Binghamton, good evening, November 11816, information whiskey at 5,000.
November 11816, Binghamton approach, thanks for whiskey, and plan for the ILS runway 16.
ILS runway 16, 11816. Okay, cool. And we're just about to turn. I think let's go ahead and make the turn here, so we don't overshoot that.
November 11816, clear direct Binghamton, Charlie Foxtrot Bravo, and just a bit of a PIREP as you get closer to that VOR. It was light to moderate icing at or below 8,000 feet by all types.
11816, thanks. Okay. So this needs to spin around. We are 2. All right, 193 outbound. is, let's get that in there, 193. 1, 2, 3. Yep, we turned a little bit late, but kind of been our history here. We're actually cleared direct to it, so we don't have to follow the Victor Airway. So let's just spin this around here and engage the nav. And then, so the very next thing we need to put in here, guys.
Departure, good afternoon. Gulfstream
This
November
is
084 Sierra
a,
Bravo,
what is this?
4000, heading 160.
About a 70-mile leg, right? Yep. And then it's 8 miles to the airfield. So now we're getting there.
Gulfstream 084 Sierra Bravo.
I'm going to go ahead and
Departure,
plug in.
radar contact, climb and maintain 7000. Turn left heading 020.
Our information for
Left 020 up to 7000, Gulfstream 4
the
Sierra
approach. So 110.3 is going to be the localizer frequency. I'm not going to mess with the approach course just yet, although I am going to put it into nav 2 as well, just so that I can. Oh boy, here we go, guys. Now we're getting bounced around, and so now I don't know if this is turbulence or if this is icing. We're taking a peek at our airspeed, and it's holding fairly. Nope, it's starting to come down. Oh boy.
Boeing 9er Delta Alpha.
We may be in a little trouble here, guys.
Change to advisory frequency approved.
Add some power. All right.
November 139er Delta Alpha, New York Center is closing. Clear. Change to advisory frequency approved.
Here we go,
Frequency change approved
ladies
for
and
9
gentlemen.
Delta Alpha.
I don't want to overdo it here. I'll add a little bit of power. We'll try to keep that speed up. We're only 5,000, so we don't have a lot of room to mess around here. Everybody put the popcorn down. Now it's time to pay attention. Okay, so 110.3 and then an approach heading of 158. Spin that around just in case something fails in nav 1. We have that nav 2. And yeah, that's nothing now to do but just count it down. And
Gulfstream 4 Sierra Bravo, clear direct, Rockdale, and New York Center is closing. So,
get the air sick bags
change to
out,
advisory
I guess.
frequency approved. Good day.
We do have tower as well.
Good direct to Rockdale.
I think yeah, 1930, so that'll be the next,
Mocha Hagati.
Sir.
Sir.
1930. That'll be our tower frequency. And, okay. Slant Alpha with the words of encouragement. Everything's fine. And I guess the only other thing that a guy could have done differently is try to fly up above all the weather and then just minimize your time in the icing conditions, via descent. But instead, for 2 hours I've been flying in moderate icing conditions. So that's definitely a mistake I made, and we'll see if it comes back to haunt me. How am I doing? About 045. Yep, my compasses are lined up fairly well. I've got 42 miles. I need to visit the little pilot's room. I'm kind of nervous about this. Be right back. And with any luck, when I make it back to my computer, and we're still airborne. Otto's done a good job today. Really. All right, 30. What do we have here? 38. Is that what we're looking at? Yep, 38.5 miles to Binghamton. And from there, vectors to 16. Oh gosh, I forgot to call. Dang it. Yeah, I should have checked out or made sure it was okay to step away for a second. All right, thing number 2 I would do differently next time.
Things approach number 70 Echo Uniform.
All right.
Miles to northwest.
Descent checklist, fuel selector to the
November 70 Echo
fullest
Uniform,
tank, which right now is
Binghamton
left.
altimeter is 2982. And
I do need my boost
runway,
pump.
the ILS
When we
runway
start the
16.
descent, I'll pop that guy on. It's
16,
tough to
292
it's tough to get to. I need maybe does my radio panel view help me? Oh yeah, I'll be able to get to that. Flip that to low. I am below 10,000. I'll just put the landing lights on right now so I don't forget about that, because
November
that's
70
something
Echo Uniform,
I would
788
definitely forget about.
6000 Echo Uniform.
Boy, it's getting dark. The sun must be down. Let's see what it would be after 5 out here. So definitely getting down to that that evening hour, the blue hour. I think we're doing okay. Anybody tracking me on live radar 24 or whatever that app is? Hopefully I'm still in the right neighborhood.
November 11816. What are your flight conditions?
We have realistic weather turned on, 11816.
Okay. Are you in IMC right now, or did you get below the cloud deck?
Negative, we're at 5,000 and we are IMC.
Roger.
I misunderstood the question, I think.
King Air Zero Echo Uniform.
But I do know that they kind of made an
south of
allowance
field.
for
It was, light to moderate
folks
icing,
to adjust their weather if they
90,000
wanted
below
to.
by all types.
Icing, icing. Again, I keep looking. It's not going to be visible, but I keep checking just in case. Not that I don't believe you guys, but just in case. So I should have really reported, you know, it's not quite moderate chop, but light chop probably at 5,000. I really haven't seen any moisture here recently, so I could have, if I would have seen any moisture, I would have wanted to report that as well. But I'm not used to giving PIREPs, I'll be totally honest with you. Under 30 miles. We're getting there. Oh, there's some rain / snow. I need to coordinate my next event for the evening. Grandpa time. Oh, okay. Age of Bravo 7, good to know. I just knew that was a hot topic of discussion this week when they were thinking about this event, just because they knew weather was likely, and you know, these guys I think prefer, if possible, to fly VFR, but they knew it was going to be an IFR kind of a day, so there was quite a bit of debate about what do you do with weather.
1014, can we get the altimeter one more time?
Binghamton, altimeter 2980.
2980. Let's put that in. I think that's different. And I see both sides.
2980, we're actually 3,000
Oh,
and we'll climb
goodness.
8,000.
So we are way below 5,000 then.
1014, Roger.
Look
Just
at
a
it
bit
making
of a pirate. It was
making
south
the
and west of
adjustments
the
there.
field,
We're gonna lose the
by all
airspeed in a
types,
big
light to
way.
moderate rime icing at or below 8,000.
Yeah, our anti-ice is on. We detect the same here.
Yeah, and I think that was I think ultimately that's what they decided is, you know, have whatever you want, but let's just make sure if in real life they're landing 1.6 that everybody's landing 1.6, which I think is the perfect compromise.
ExecJet 1014, clear direct, Binghamton, Charlie Foxtrot, Bravo.
All right, we got somebody behind us, and he's an exec jet, so he's going to have to probably slow down just a little bit. But I don't even know how to report icing, to be honest with you. Yeah, you know, I don't know if I'm picking up light rime icing or moderate icing or what. If it's not, I'm thinking maybe that plug-in that Downwind Sim shared probably has that information. All I know is looking at SkyVector, it says we're in an area of moderate icing.
Binghamton departure, radar contact, climb maintain 8,000.
Up to 8,000, Delta Whiskey.
Yeah, okay. Good to know. Well, next time. Well, looks like I'm going down the rabbit hole in Alice in Wonderland right now. It's kind of psychedelic.
November 11816, descend and maintain 3,100.
3,100, November 11816. All right, here we go. I think I have to disconnect this. And I think I'm just going to ease the throttle forward, pull the power back a little bit just to try to get a steady descent. This could be interesting.
Good luck.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you. I appreciate it. I will need it. Pretty well totally on the hand fly right now, guys. So this is what I think I'm going to do is, yeah, I think we'll just stick with it right here. Just try to hand fly it down. Speed's getting a little quick. Trying to use speed to control pitch, but I think we're picking up a little bit of turb here. Some updrafts. It's windy. ATIS is confirming now, well, no, actually windier, 170 at 11 with gusts of 20. So that's right on the, honestly, right on the edge of, I think, what this aircraft can do, if not a little over the edge.
Depart Binghamton heading 030, King Air 03.
Yeah, well.
Slant Alpha, I think that's why we're all still tuned in.
I got to do something to get viewers, man. Shock value. I'm not going to win you over with my skill and accuracy of procedure following. And I got to be that guy that they talk about that, hey, remember that one guy that flew into icing conditions without anti-icing equipment?
800 Delta Whiskey, verify, climb and maintain 8,000.
Okay, 3,100 is what we're looking for. For the most part, we've stayed on the VOR track. Speed has stayed where it needs to be. Now we'll level back out and re-engage the autopilot here just to make sure we don't drift too far off track. But so far, it's actually been fairly stable on the way down once we initially kind of got going that direction. Well, I've been described as the ADHD of VATSIM, so maybe I'm the NASCAR of VATSIM as well. I don't know. I've been called worse. Autopilot heading, so I was able to actually descend with leaving my autopilot, my heading mode on. That's actually kind of cool. I didn't realize that. That's a little like the 737-200 where you can just pull the yoke back or push it forward, and it basically it acts like your vertical speed control and just locks you into whatever your rate of climb or descent is. That's some old school tech right there. I like that. Closing in on 3,100, still not below the muckety muck. And according to the ATIS, we're expecting to break out here. Oh, now the ATIS is saying snow and freezing fog again. Oh, they're back to visibility at a quarter.
4-4 Golf.
I
Charlie,
like active
Binghamton
skies
departure, radar
much
contact,
better.
Clear direct Delancey, climb and maintain 8,000.
Direct Delancey and up to
8
8,000
statute
for
miles,
4 Golf
overcast
Charlie.
1100. Oops. Monitor the speed. Watch the six pack. Scan, scan, scan.
Yep.
Scan, scan, scan. I know, I'm looking at ATIS reports right now. Should be flying the plane. Oops, let's not redline. Would be a bad thing to lose the engine right about now. Okay, we're just near flap speed, which is not
November
actually
1816, depart Binghamton heading 020.
depart Binghamton 020, November 11816. Not bad to be down here at flap speed because we're going to need that here in just a sec. 16 miles. No, 6.
November 0 Echo uniform, turn right heading 070.
6 miles? 16 miles. I got to take a closer look there.
0 for uniform.
6
November
miles.
44
Holy
Golf
cow, we're
Charlie,
there,
Lima
guys.
Airspace City East, New York Center's offline.
Okay, so as soon as we
Frequency approved. Good day.
oh, we're already.
Frequency change
Oh
approved.
boy.
4 Golf Charlie.
What's I'm iced. I'm iced.
Speed.
Yeah,
There it goes.
I think I found the ice, guys. Total loss of control of everything. Come on, come around, sweetheart. Come around, sweetheart. Nope, I'm toast, guys. Oh, rats. Oh,
0 Echo uniform is 4 miles
oh,
from
so close.
RE. Fly heading 130, maintain 3,100 till established on the localizer. Cleared ILS runway 16 approach.
Oh, so close.
130. 0 for uniform.
Sorry, buddy.
Yep. We kind of knew it was a high probability. Binghamton approach, November 11816. We're down due to icing.
Oh, sorry about that, man. That's the 4th plane now.
All right, fun event. We'll talk to you guys later.
See ya.
So I wonder if it's worth looking at the replay. I don't know. Let's see what happens. If I can get to the moment of, I mean, it didn't take long. Is this similar to the time period of your MD-80 downwind sim? Kind of the same type of thing?
Yeah, exactly. It's
All
less
right.
than a minute.
All right, so this is 216. Let me get rid of this. I just want to get rid of you. Okay. So let's just watch. So let's just watch. So 216.07. Let's just see what I still have good airspeed right now. That was where I think I accidentally flipped off my autopilot. I don't remember. Was that warning beep going on? I don't remember hearing that. Or is that a leftover from my crash? So there is, we're 1630. Airspeed looks good still. Now it's starting to drop. So 1637. My first little airspeed drop. So yeah, kind of. So about 1630 was the first indication of problems. Still level, but now here it is, 1650. Just, I don't know what else. I mean, I guess the only thing would have been, could I have descended? maybe to try to get below. I don't know. But at this point in time, I'm toast. Actually, or is this... Maybe that's when I leveled off at 3,100. Yep, got my airspeed back up. So sorry about that, guys. I'm not quite there, but I wasn't having that warning. That horn wasn't going off quite yet, so we'll keep an eye here. There it goes. 1748. Yeah, I'm still hanging in there. A little bit more. 1750. A little bit more. So, yeah. So at 1748, that's when it started to go. And then here it is. Not even, that's 30 seconds. Yeah, within 30 seconds I'd lost total control of the aircraft. Just about was able to pull it back out. Could never get it level again, though, is the problem. The nose was wanting to come. I think that was just because of airspeed. Oh boy, yeah, that's not one you're walking away from, guys. Well, shoot. Again, not a huge surprise, right? I mean, we kind of knew that coming in. Going back through, what would you do differently? I don't know that it would made much of a difference, but I think
Divert.
well,
That's what you do
divert
differently.
or just not fly. Or I guess the only other thing, if you really had to get into Binghamton, is maybe try to be up above the weather, up all the way until you have to descend. But even at that, I don't know that you avoid that. I mean, because I don't think it takes a whole heck of a lot of ice to make you lose control like that. But oh well. Again, it was fun to try, fun to fly, and yeah, we knew there was a high probability of that before we even started. Maybe I should have picked the Kodiak because the Kodiak has anti-icing. But yeah, it happens. And again, I was just happy to fly it because I didn't think I was going to be able to. And so I hopped in fast and got in the air in the plane that just looked funnest. And and we made it to within probably, I don't know, we were within 20 miles, I think. So, that's not all bad. But at the end of the day, it was a lot of fun. I really appreciate everybody who stopped by and hung out during the flight. And so let me just, before I close up, let me tell you what I do have coming up later on, because we can't go out on a sad note like this. But first of all, hats off to the Virtual USA Flying Club for putting this event on, and I do appreciate the challenge. I do appreciate the weather, and you learn every time you fly and have a failure like that, you learn something, and you wouldn't do that again. So thanks for putting that on, Mike. Appreciate that, and I look forward to doing the one on the 28th that you have coming up there in Colorado. But as far as this stream goes, there was an outside chance that we would do Operation Deep Freeze later on tonight in the Captain Sim 737-200, but I have an obligation coming up, a Papa obligation, so I don't think I'm going to be able to make that one. So the next thing for me is actually coming up on Monday the 20th. It's a little bit off of our normal Tuesday, Thursday, Saturday schedule, but we've got Boston Virtual hosting a Seacoast GA fly-in, and we're going to hop in the Real Air Duke 60, my favorite plane of all time, and fly in the Boston area. And then Thursday the 23rd, it's the latest installment of the Nowhere Fast series, Episode 5. We're going to be in the Coronado 152, and we're going to be flying from where we left off in Oregon down to Fish Lake, Idaho. And so that should be a ton of fun as well. And then we'll wrap up next week by doing the Fly J Sim 727 in the Mountain Mayhem event that's going on there on Saturday the 25th. And then I got a few more things there you can check out on the stream schedule on Discord if you'd like. As always, you can tune in to YouTube later on and relive the carnage. Or every once in a while, I do manage to put one down safely and where you can walk away and reuse the aircraft again every so often. But again, just thanks for everybody who stopped in. It was a ton of fun, and look forward to connecting with you guys throughout the weekend. If I don't see you, have yourself a fantastic weekend. I'll be looking for you on the TCast. And until next time, everyone, take care and God bless.